Join the continent's biggest fintech gathering at the 3i Africa Summit 2026 under the theme, The Next Frontier, Shaping Africa's Integrated Fintech Future. From May 6th to 8th, 2026, the Destiny Arena in Accra becomes the heart of Africa's integrated fintech future. Come connect with founders, meet the regulators, and close the deal with global investors as we redefine how Africa transacts, invests, and grows. 3AI Africa is proudly hosted by the Bank of Ghana with support from GIPS and the Global Finance and Technology Network. Register now at 3iafrica.com and be part of the transformation. The time is now. Play Rand Lottery, the trusted lottery that gives you more chances to win big every single day. It's affordable, transparent, and rewarding. Rand Lottery puts you first. Now here's the best part. With 3 daily draws, you never miss a chance. Start your morning with exciting morning draws. Keep the 3 alive at noon with the Star Midday Games and close the day in style with the Anaju Star draws. Now that's 3 opportunities every day from Monday to Sunday to turn your dream into reality. So don't wait. Whether it's building that new home, supporting your family, or chasing your personal goals, Rand Lottery is the best lottery to stake. So join thousands of winners across the country and make your dream a reality. Now, opportunities to stake today include Golden Souvenir, Star Tuesday, and Tuesday and Naju Star. Golden Souvenir, Star Tuesday, Tuesday and Naju Star. Now let's take a look at what the front pages are saying of our newspapers saying this morning. We'll start off with the Ghanaian Times, and the big one says, Dumsor scare, Akosombo back on stream, power supply to improve. Energy Minister is saying so. Dr. John Jinapor, yesterday at the presidency, he took his turn. Minister revokes Adamos Resources leases over illegal mining. Other stories in there as well. Now move on to the Daily Graphic. Akosombo back on stream. 2 units restored. Full recovery expected this week. Energy Minister confronts audit infractions with honesty. Accountant General to public sector accountants. Now to the Meridian. Illegal mining storm hits health gold fields, Prestia sites. Mahama breaks ground for new Accra Airport's concourse. An efforts underway to stabilize power supply. The Jim says so. We've been reassured and down to the other papers. The Chronicle. Adamos Resources shown red card. Government revokes mining leases at Akango Salman in Kofo over breach of laws. You can see stories on page 3 and 14. Prestia residents back health goldfields operations. Right? To the Daily Guide. Adamos Resources mining leases revoked. This is almost in all the papers for this morning. Lawyers punch RNAQ prejudicial interview and Dodowa land disputes. Minister accused of trespassing. Pythons take over Kumasi ECG substation. I guess this will be part of the topic. Smartity and her guest to be treating. Now to the other paper as well. The Dispatch. I intend to maintain the decrease in the rates of inflation and stabilize the economy. President Mahama in Africa Watch. From a party builder to a possible 2028 NDC flag bearer. Focus on Mr. Julius Deborah. You can see that on page 2 and 3. All right, that's it for our papers for this morning. Maltiti is seated with her guest to look at some of the selected topics for today. But do remember that you can get interactive with us across all our social media platforms.
And isn't it just a beautiful Tuesday, the 28th day of April 2026? Welcome back. This is GTV Breakfast, and it's time for the headlines, the big issues that will shape the national discourse. I am Altiti Saida Sadiq, and I just brought you what the big stories on the front pages of the newspapers are. Before or after we have the headlines, we'll definitely have that exclusive with Dr. Yao Seiduchim. You don't want to miss that one with Thelma. And so we'll go right into the big stories, but let me know who the let you know who the gentlemen are at the table this morning to bring you their perspectives on these big issues. On my immediate left is the Honourable David T.D. Vondi, who is the MP for Timokwa. Honourable, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the table.
Thank you.
Great. Ebba Bachman makes a return. He's Deputy Communications Director for the UP. Mr. Bachman, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
You're looking well.
It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Prince Sefa as well, former CEO of GIFEC, is at our table this morning speaking for the MPP. Sefa, good morning.
Good morning, Titi.
Lots of things to do, I believe. I'm well.
Yeah, sure.
I envy your cup of coffee.
It's a result of doom, so I had to have it here.
You just had to, didn't you?
It's the truth.
Okay, Sefa, we're going into Doomsor issues this morning. Yesterday, the minister took his turn at the accountability series in the presidency to answer questions from journalists and to update the country on the power situation. I'm sure you've heard about the pythons, friends from the wild, who are also taking siege of some of our installations somewhere. Ashanti region, Central region, I believe, and Greater Accra region heavily affected by these power outages. I'm going to bring you excerpts of what the minister said yesterday. The Honourable John Abdullahi Jinapor, he announced that 2 power generation units at the Akosombo Dam were back on operation, adding about 280 megawatts to the national grid, and he spoke at that series yesterday. He said this is contributing an additional 140 megawatts, and he said all 6 units are expected to be fully operational by the end of the week. These units were the ones that had been gutted by fire. Investigations are still underway to ascertain whether it was arson. As I did hear the journalist pose these questions to the minister yesterday. He's talked about frequent power outages due to underinvestment for over a period. Let's take a listen to what the minister said.
Let me assure you that government, working through all relevant sector agencies, have responded with urgency and coordination. Our engineers have since remained on site. Some of them have stayed there for 3 continuous days without leaving site, working around the clock under very, very extreme and difficult conditions to restore operations. It has been hard work. It has been determination. When I visited the dam site and received a briefing, it was very challenging. Others thought that it was not going to be possible. But I'm pleased to inform you today that through emergency technical interventions and sheer determination, the first generation unit was successfully restored yesterday. This afternoon, as I was about preparing to come for this briefing, I received confirmation from the acting Gridco MD and the VRA MD that the second unit has also been brought and is generating power. I've also been reliably informed that the third unit is undergoing works and that it will be brought on as soon as possible. When we bring on the third unit, it then paves the way that the new technology, the innovative technology that they've never used following this incident has proven. As an immediate intervention, this month alone, we have installed almost 200 transformers. This week, we intend to deploy another 140 of these transformers. In all, we seek to deploy 2,500 transformers to improve supply reliability and improve the voltages as well.
The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Mr. John Jinapor, disclosed that government has set up a committee to investigate the fire outbreak at the Ghana Great Company Limited facility.
We would move with alacrity, we will move swiftly, but we will not seek to cut corners. To get to the root cause of this incident, as Minister for the sector, I've constituted a technical team chaired by the Venerable Engineer Williams Amuna, to conduct a thorough and independent investigation into the incident. They will focus on the technical issues and come out with a report in 2 weeks.
Mr. Jinapor.
And that's the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Mr. John Abdullahi Jinapor, speaking there about constituting that committee. We've heard some heads have had to roll as well. Is that enough to fix the power situation in the interim to be able to supply power for Ghanaians? We've heard from the streets, people losing their food stuff, their businesses, which is reeling from the interruptions of power supply, those who use the cold freezers and business electricity to do their business primarily, speaking about how hard-hitting this current situation is. Let me begin with the Honourable Von D, whose minister just spoke. Honourable, how long has this government known that this was going to happen? Aside from the fire, aside from the pythons that were discovered, but that some research has shown that for a while we have not had enough power to generate or to supply the entire country.
So good morning to my very good brothers who are here with me, your good self and your crews, my people in Chufo-Etimokwa and everybody. And let me say congratulations to the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Dr. Jinapor, for his dedication to his service, his work given to him as a minister, and his deputy, my own brother, Richard. I think that the power issues in our country isn't a new thing, and successive governments try to deal with power issues in our country. When we were in power, 2016, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's administration did a lot of things in trying to deal with these power issues where, so many plants were brought in, emergency plants, the Mary and all that. And then we built a gas plant, to be able to deal with these generation capacity issues once and for all. And before we were leaving government, 2016, the report was that we had excess capacity in our power generation. Excess capacity means that, we had too much, power we did not need at the time. So what it means is that we had no problem with generations issues. And what we had problem with when the Akufo-Addo government came to power was to do with the management of what we had in terms of prudent management, how we were able to get crude to power the plants that we have, dealing with corruptions and wastes in the system and all that. Unfortunately, we had to go through a lot of, power crisis under the administration, the MPP administration led by Akufo-Addo, and we're back to power. And again, there are so many of the transformers that will have to be changed. These are machines, these are equipments that some are becoming obsoleted, and we'd have to change them. I think the replacement of these machines, transformers and all that, automatically will result at some power fluctuations here and there. People would have to lose their power, in a few hours for it to be restored and all that. And it has been going on. Of course, if we do not do that, at the end of the day, it's going to really rather, go off entirely, and we're going to rather suffer this doomsaw thing again. And I don't think that's what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama want to do. And so you hear he himself, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, continuously explain the situations, the replacement of the transformers and then changing of them and all that. I heard my very good friend, the other side of the device, political device. Yesterday I was on UTV with him, one of them, and he was saying that they bought a lot of transformers when they were in government, and that it was an ongoing thing that we came to inherit. Unfortunately, they were telling us that they used more than 8 years in government and that they couldn't replace transformers. And so it tells you the negligence. It tells you the mismanagement.
That they bought the transformers and kept them down.
That's what he's making me to believe. That they bought transformers, they kept the transformers down. They did not know that they were supposed to, change the transformers to ensure that. And, running to the 2024 general elections, they did a lot of things that, they wanted to sway Ghanaians to vote for them. And so they decided to put a lot of electricity, power in many transformers that were overloaded. In my constituency, for example, when you go to areas like Bimpong, Eja, where I actually come from, some of the transformers were overloaded. Okay, so it actually reduced the quality of power that you could get, and those transformers are tantamount to damaged. And so most of the things they did and the way they looked on without attending to the very need of the electricity generations and its management of Ghana was very disturbing.
Okay, but you're in power. You said the president has been communicating.
What happened was that
before this current situation.
Absolutely. So
we've known that we've had issues with transformers that are overloaded.
Which, of course,
have you communicated effectively to Ghanaians? Because sentiments on the streets are that they didn't know that.
The truth is that
we're taken by surprise.
The truth is that the Minister for Energy, communicated as well, and we told the Ghanaian people what we're doing, changing transformers and all that. And unknown to us, the issues that we thought were there in terms of the number of transformers and how damaged they are, was overwhelming. But we have to tackle all these things head on, of which I believe strongly that if you listen to the minister, things are really getting normal, and we should be expecting stabilization of our power, and everybody should be able to go by his or her duties successfully. Was
there a need to fire the ECG boss if the minister is constituting a committee that would investigate?
And I think that things will get well. You see, it is about time we take responsibility for our actions and inactions in this country. We cannot do the same thing the way we used to do it and think we want to get a different result. I remember there was this one minister in the United States, UK, was supposed to attend Parliament to answer questions, and he was late for 5 minutes. There and then he resigned and taking responsibility for his actions. In Ghana, people do things and get away with it, and that is not what we'll do and get good results. We are talking about somebody who should take responsibility for whatever might have happened to Akosombo Fire. How will you be still at posts and be investigated without you influencing the investigation?
Meaning the suspicion that he caused the fire?
Mind you, nobody is accusing him or calling him to be the one causing the fire. Nobody knows that. You and I do not know. We can only unravel the truth. We can only know the truth when we investigate. And one of the processes of investigating to get to the bottom of the issue is to ask him to step aside to ensure that there will be proper investigation into the because these are very serious national issues. You don't want to sweep it under the carpet. Successively, things are happening that are not good for us. And our power sector must be fixed. We're doing so much. We're trying to turn things around, investing in so many other areas of power generation, so much dependence on crude, which of course is a renewable energy we want to move out of. We want to ensure that there is investment in the non-renewable energy and all that. We need to hold what we have constant and to ensure that we have electricity, for everybody to be able to work with. And so if somebody's negligent, we have power shortages and fire running through those equipments, destroying and getting people to get, power, interruptions and so forth and so on. It is just appropriate that we investigate. And I think that, the chairman was not sacked. He was only been asked to step aside so that our investigation can get a boost of unraveling the truth, so we can curtail it, and then
it doesn't seem like this is just a slap of plaster on the wound.
It will not happen again.
That the minister clearly should have done something about before it got to this.
You cannot predict when fire is going to break out.
Yes, but transformers you've mentioned
again. So I'm saying to you that we've been in government for about 1.5 years. You've had some successes. Our predecessors who've been in government for 8 years, and the only thing they could say that, we bought some transformers, but we did not replace it. Within 8 years, they couldn't replace one transformer. Again, before they got to power, there was excess capacity. So what happened to all those generation capacities that were left for them? That today we do not have enough power to share.
All right.
And so these are the issues that we need to investigate and unravel the truth.
I'll definitely
so that going forward, we will be able to serve the Ghanaian people properly.
All right,
so I think it's in the right direction, and I congratulate the minister doing so well and bringing the power back.
I'll come
it's
back
absolutely
to you.
very.
I'll come back to you, Honorable Vondi. Let me go to Edward Bachman now. Mr. Bachman, how do you feel about sentiments on the streets that Dumsor is back? Is it back?
It depends on how you want to define Dumsor. But let me first and foremost commend the minister and engineers who worked swiftly on the Akosombo issue. I think they've done well.
Okay. And
so they deserve commendation. But as I say, it depends on how you want to define Dumsor. Because if Dumsor is defined as when the light, anytime light goes off and comes back, then we are in Dumsor. But if you look at the Dumsor, how the word Dumsor was based, it was as a result of frequent, predictable, prolonged outages.
Okay.
So by that definition of the frequency of light off, predictability of light off, and also how prolonged it was, then we are not in Dumsor. We are having outages. I don't think, yes, we are very uncomfortable, but you can't describe them as Dumsor.
From February, it's not long enough.
Yeah, because if you look at the way, the kind of what was described as Dumsor in those days, it was something different.
Okay, so there's no timetable now. Does that also count?
I don't think it's about timetable, because we are looking at the issue of, as I said, frequency of it, how frequent it is, and how predictable it is, and how prolonged they are or it is.
Right.
So in that sense, I will not describe it as Dumsor.
Okay.
I mean, before the Akosombo issue, we were told, the minister told us that we were going to have maintenance and then also replacement of transformers. And so as a result of that, we are going to experience outages. He said those things. So we knew we were going through that process. Then this one also came. So
and then the pythons also took siege.
Yeah, so my point is that if after replacement of transformers or maintenance of transformers and also a resolution of the Akosombo issue, the outages persists, then we can hold the minister accountable. Because at the moment we are told, one, this is what is happening. This is not as a result of policy failure. What is happening is not as a result of the fact that we are not able to pay, procure fuel to power the plants. It's not as a result of legacy debt that is owed to the IPPs.
Okay.
Are you getting it? So we know that these are not the factors.
The IPPs are not affected
Yes,
in any
because
way.
they are paying, yes, you know the previous government left estimated, I think, $2.5 billion debt to the IPPs. This government has paid about 1.7 billion of it, and is also still, making commitment to the current obligation. So, so in that sense, it cannot be that the IP, because of the IPP. So that's what I'm saying, that the two factors we've been told: first, the replacement and maintenance of transformers, and also this Akosombo. So if after resolving these two, the situation persists, then we can now hold the minister accountable to tell us why you are still experiencing outages.
You don't think that a year ago was enough time for them to have effectively communicated? Do you feel that we've been effectively communicated to before even the rollout of the transformer changes started? This is the audit we have done, and this is what the situation.
Yeah, I think the communication bit was not that good, especially if you're moving to communities. There was a bigger announcement. After that, there should be micro announcements. You should go to the community. This information service ones. Go there and let them know that this is what we are doing within this enclave, and that is why you should be expecting outages and all that. So yes, as I said, I don't think this can be described as doom. So, but you see, there's something important we also need to look at, because whether we like it or not, we can only power this economy through the energy sector, and so investment to the sector, should be paramount. We are now addressing the issue of availability. Beyond addressing the issue of availability, I think the most important thing, the issues we also need to address, one, apart from availability, accessibility. There are certain areas in Ghana that cannot access electricity because we have not extended infrastructure to those areas. It is very important.
Right.
The issue of affordability, because whether we like it or not, if we want to succeed with our industrialization agenda, then the cost of energy should be down. And even to the households, our cost of energy is still high. And so we need to look at how can we produce in such a way that the cost of energy will be down, will be low. And the reliability, the minister mentioned the issue of reliability, because you can have it available, but they will not be reliable.
Absolutely.
And so there's a bigger picture we need to look at. And I believe that this is not an issue that we should be playing politics with.
Okay.
Even though the two political parties, NPP and NDC, would want to always play that game, and I see NPP people being so excited about the doomsday issue because it gives them.
They say it's synonymous with the president.
Because it gives them certain political leverage. So it's like they are excited that there's doomsday, even though Ghanaians are struggling and suffering because of doom. So they are excited because they know they can make.
I don't.
They're excited. Go to social media. They're excited
about the plight of Ghanaians.
I'm telling you, the doomsday issue. You see, let me tell you.
How can somebody's meat knowing that?
Yes, and go to social media and see their supporters, because you see they think that the government, if the government fails, then they can come to power, and they see this as government failing, and so they're excited about it, and that's what makes it quite unfortunate.
But that's not happening.
But that is what makes politics unfortunate.
Okay,
that you always have to wish one to fail before I can come.
Right,
and that
Mr.
should not be.
Bachman, I want to ask also in interim measures, and you talked about the fact that it may not be policy issues, or it is not policy issues, as the minister has said that. I think that I saw the Parliamentary Committee on Energy touring the Atuobo gas plant, I believe, looking at local engineers who are, re-engineering all of that. There are plans to build another gas plant. For you, is this somewhat of a relief?
Yeah, you see, we need more investment in that sector. I've told you, if you go to places like China, if you see the lighting system in China, China light is like...
you can't tell whether it's Christmas or not.
Everywhere.
Everywhere there's light all the time.
Yet you can live in China for 5 years without experiencing light off.
Wow.
And so you wonder, what is it that we are not doing right?
Snakes don't take siege of their cables. Fire doesn't burn.
And politicians don't steal in China. Corruption is not rife in China.
If you steal,
so the resources are used for important things. It is hardly for Chinese politicians to steal and go scot-free. Once you are caught, you are dead. And so it's also, and they don't waste money. Can you imagine? Sefa, can you imagine if $97 billion that we used to dig that hole, if we had used it to invest in the energy sector, we would have gone far. So let's look at how we can prudently manage our resources. The little we have, let's manage them wisely, so that the people can benefit from it, not only the politicians and their pockets.
Right. Sefa, let me bring you into this now. So you are excited that people are reeling in the shocks of this power disruptions.
All right. So once again, greetings to all the viewers. I don't know when my colleague here knew that we were excited, because the last time I checked, give me my coffee, I had to come here and take it this morning. And we've had roughly 7 months of DUMSO out of 15 months that this
7?
government. Yes,
Okay.
that's our calculation.
That's by your calculation. Let me.
Okay.
But you tell us.
When they came in, this was happening all over, and then we got some respite, and then we're back at it again. And they always have another excuse. If you look at some of the excuses that they've given, they said there was a fault at Ghana Gas. They said that fire at Grico, damaged transformer, faulty transformers. They said that there are underground cable faults, and even snakes have, excuse me, have even now had pythons as some of the newest issues. You go to Ashanti region, people have been suffering for a long while. This didn't just start. And we are told that it's an issue of transformers. Meanwhile, if you listen to the chairman of the NDC, when he was in opposition, he said those kinds of excuses just don't wash when it comes to DUMSO.
Right.
So, as usual, almost everything NDC said in opposition, they come to government, they want to say something different, and they want to be treated differently, and just be allowed to be hypocritical and have double standards. We're not going to allow it. Ghanaians know DUMSO when they know it. We don't need to define.
I thought you would understand that there are situations that you cannot control because of what happened, the turmoils that your government, had to face. You didn't predict the Russia-Ukraine war, but it happened. And this fire,
how come every
as
time
people say, wasn't predictable?
How come every time NDC government now, since the 2000s, every time NDC is in government, you have this kind of meltdown? In fact, the only NDC government since 2000 that avoided a bit of it was the Mills period. I think it wasn't that bad. It has to do with management. They don't know how to manage. It's clear. As soon as NDC comes in, DUMSO is back. Then they have to blame somebody all the time. You're the only ones that when you come in, as soon as you get in, somebody left problems for you. So nobody left problems for President Kufuor to be resolving. And nobody left problems for, we're from all of this. And they will come up, as I said, I have a litany of the excuses that they've come up with since they've been in government for the 15 months. And about half of it, almost half, last time I did 45% of their time, we've been having this DUMSO since they came in. It's always an excuse. Joy News just came out and said that current DUMSO is driven, per their research, more by power generation deficit than technical faults. You see, so the people know. They know when they feel DUMSO, they know. They know, all right, like Mr. Bachman was saying, yes, it's not like every time that there are some power disruptions, that's DUMSO. Okay? But if you really want to know, it has to do with the frequency. It has to do with how long.
And it's been 7 months, you say?
Yes, per our calculations, 7 months out of 15. They've been doing this, so they always come up with some other excuse. We are not buying it. Please manage the thing, however it was done. Okay? I was listening to Honorable Vondi, and he said negligence. How do you come up with the word negligence? According to whom? That who was negligent? Do we have a report about the sector? What was the handover reports? And in the handover reports, what was said? There are technical people who transcend administrations. Do we have a report, evidence, that said that there were critical things that needed to be done? He went on to say, without any evidence.
That's why I was asking for the audits.
I know. Okay, we have the name of the game is evidence. We can't just sit here and just be making our own facts up. You said that not a single transformer was changed in 8 years. Where is that evidence of that? I don't know how many. Honestly, I was thinking here and then looking at my notes and everything. I don't know. I'm not in that sector. But I
said your colleagues said that you had procured the transformers, but you hadn't installed.
I don't know how many. Do you know how many transformers were procured
in the S1
and how many were installed? You don't have the report. You are not referencing anything. You said we didn't do a single transformer report. According to whom? But the people who work, who are the technical people who, as I said, some of them have been there, I'm sure, working for decades. Have they given any evidence that there were things to be changed and, someone negligently didn't change them?
Right.
How is it that only your time you have to do transformer replacements?
Okay.
Huh?
But you agree that's a measure that would help stabilize the situation?
Without the report, okay, everything that is being said here is what? Without the evidence. I don't want to use any harsh word. I respect him very much.
Okay.
You see, so we can't use words like negligence. Yesterday I was on another show, and almost everybody who seems to be NDC caller was saying that it has to do with they have to relieve people and they haven't been firing people. That's why these people are sabotaging President Mohammed's administration. Who is sabotaging the administration?
That's the sentiments why they sacked the ECG or they made him step aside.
This government is a settings government. Everybody knows that by now. So they're trying to create this impression that there's some sabotage going on. Sabotage by whom? You had an issue in the control room. The control room of Greco and those kinds of won't be a small place with only NPP party members over there. So which of them came together to sabotage President Mohammed? If you can't do the job, please step away so that we can get a government such as Nanado's government, who kept the lights on.
Is it the minister or the government?
Which?
There's the energy minister. You said if you can't do the job.
Please, please. As I'm saying, the government is represented by the minister. They are not getting the job done.
Okay.
How did MPP keep the lights on virtually for 8 years?
And so, the firing of the ECG, you still think that
everybody knows by now? Well, not everybody.
Okay.
But they're doing propaganda with it, and they're doing very well. Polluting the minds of their supporters that this is some sabotage grand scheme. There is no grand scheme from anywhere.
What about responsibility?
Please, the man, how do you let somebody step aside without at least giving us a prima facie case as to how he was negligent? Is that how it's done? If that was done, you have someone who has insulted all Ghanaians, all MPP supporters, the flag bearer of the MPP, and then all Pentecost, Church of Pentecost members, along with the chairman himself, in one FM show. One day, she did all this. She's still at post. And a man who is just about to go on retirement in 2 months, they say you step aside. Who are you tricking? Who are you tricking? You are not tricking anyone.
I see that my police have sent me something, that there was a time in your government that there was a Dumsiesie, which was a period where the lights had to go off and on so that maintenance was being done. You don't think that this is what is happening currently?
When those changes were done, and Dr. Napo led that work, we know that Napo is one of the most competent getting the job done ministers we've ever had. And he said those things. After that, what happened? We're all here. We saw stability. We saw improvement.
After the Dumsiesie?
Yes.
Okay.
The proof is in the pudding. He proved it.
That's why he said that.
So why should this be an issue?
Okay.
He told people what was happening. And when it was all said and done, we all saw stability. You've been in government. You've already added 8% tax. 8%. 8% on all petroleum products. And after 15 months, we're still here talking about what? Transformer. And even Joy News is already saying that what you're saying, we shouldn't buy it. It has to do with production. We don't trust you. We don't believe you.
15 months, as Sefa is saying, Honorable, and he's talked about the taxes that you slapped on. Immediately you came and then you've accrued that money.
6 billion cedis a year. That's what they are collecting for.
What would you say? That it seems synonymous to your government, the Dumsor regime.
It's very important that when we have opportunity to sit on sets like this, we try to educate people and try to live and say the truth. You know, we know our history. We know where we're coming from, and we know where we are now. We knew when things got bad. You remember the word you used, Dumsiesie? You could stay and have no light for about 3-4 days, and all they will come and tell you is that we're doing Dumsiesie. When in actual fact, the affairs energy minister, what's the name? The affair when they came together.
Not Napo?
No. The affairs energy minister. No. The second one from the Volta region. Amewu was asked what they did about the energy sector after 4 years in government, whether they added 1 megawatts to the already existing one that they came to meet, done by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Their response on Joy News was that no, because there is in fact excess capacity. When you say excess capacity, it means you have enough and you have extra. You do not know what you want to even use it for. But do you know that before they left government, they will have to take the Ameri plant to Kumasi for Otumfo to have light? That's how they manage these countries, energy sector. You and I know. As I speak to you now, if Ameri was not in Kumasi, Kumasi would be sleeping in darkness every day. That is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Do you know the gas plant we built at Abuasi gas plant? Who built it? We made provision for generation of power. The problem was management of that generation that was messed up, that was characterized with so many debt. When these people came to power, they never care about it. They never manage it well. We saw the Dumsor. Look, it got to a time, even the fuel that we buy to power our own generators in our homes. My home, the fuel in itself was questionable. The quality of the fuel. That was when fuel prices were jumping up. When the dollar, was so expensive we couldn't buy. That was when they were slashing more taxes on Ghanaian people. That was when they were dealing with Ghanaian people as if they were not in government to see us, give Ghanaians relief. That's when they were piling up, taxes on us. You remember the birth tax? You remember the COVID-19? And that's one of the most useless taxes that I've ever seen.
And the research also says that you already had issues before this change of transformers and power.
I am saying to you, that running energy, it's a process. It's an event. It's not something you do once and you do not need to have attention to it again. There must be an attention. There must be maintenance. There must be running of the energy, equipments and machineries and generation into transmission, into distribution.
The minister has said that
everything you have to do.
He says investment in the power sector resulted in the overloads, low voltages, and recurring outages.
Exactly what I told you.
15 months, Honorable Von.
Exactly what I told you.
Did not know that in the 15 months the sector was underinvested?
No, hold on. I am telling you that energy situations are really expensive and technical issues. It's not something you deal with within 1 month. You need time to deal with it. And technically, if you do not deal with it properly, you even cause a lot of problem by damaging more. I am saying to you that we're dealing with the problems one after the other. Where we are now is replacement of transformers and so on and so on.
Because
unfortunately and unknown
Mr.
to
Bachman,
us,
linked it to industrialization. And you have chanted 24-hour economy from before.
I agree with you. Listen, unfortunately unknown to us that there will be fire outbreak even at Akosombo, of which we must investigate. The reason why many people feel that there might be sabotage in the system, people sabotaging this government in the system, is the way they react when things that are bad happened.
Oh,
the way
so
they
people's
react.
reaction.
No, I'm saying, hold on, I'm saying that when you hear MPP activists, MPP leaders react to things that happen, like the issue of the fire outbreak and so forth and so on, it makes you feel, why are they happy for things that happen that brings trouble to the Ghanaian people? Why are they happy?
Are they happy, or probably just letting you know that
could it be
these things are natural occurrences?
Could it be that they are contributing to those things that are happening?
Would you describe underinvestment, overload, and low load? That's on one leg. So all the other things, would you determine it as sabotage?
I told you that one of the things that got these transformers broke down, and that we have to change them, replace them, and service some of them, was as a result of the overloading of some of the transformers running to the 2024 general election. And I give you a typical example of what happened in my own constituency. Okay, these are some of the things that they left for us. These are some of the most wicked practices in order to just
extending power to communities. Mr. Bakran talked about access,
you don't extend power to people by damaging what they already have. You don't overload transformers, reduce quality of power, damaging people's things in their homes, and call it extension
there's
of power.
still no evidence that they did not change any transformer.
Evidence.
You said they haven't changed a single transformer.
Again, I am telling you, they themselves are saying
because in increasing
that
the
they
access,
bought transformers and kept the transformers
I haven't seen that. Somebody said that in the MPP.
Yes.
I haven't cited that video.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So those are the things. 8 years they couldn't change transformers, and that they are telling us today that they bought the transformers and left it there, and then they overloaded the fuel that we had and damaging them. Today we are repairing and replacing them. They are laughing, clapping because there is light off, and that Ghanaians will see that light off and vote for them. It's not happening.
Well,
it won't happen
if you're
able
to fix it, because
why it won't happen.
When you talk about 24-hour economy and even the access,
you know why it won't happen. You know why it won't happen. As I speak to you now, in Kifuatimotokwa, for example, very soon, in no time, there will be no small town and villages without electricity. And I know what I'm talking about for a fact. Ghanaians are going to see expansion of access to electricity all over the country, but will come with quality. And that is why we are not overloading the existing transformers. That is why we are changing the transformers. That's why we are buying more transformers and replacing the old ones that are obsoleted. And that's why we are giving Ghanaians quality power. Look, the minister just told you that there is a restoration of Akosombo and power quality would be restored and people will have power. And that is remarkable. We saw it in their time. What did they tell us? They will call it Doom CSA. What is Doom CSA? And that is what we saw. We saw how you suffered, power, crisis in the administration. You saw it. Everybody knows. Ghanaians know about that. So for me, today, we are not complaining. We are fixing the issues. The problems are being fixed. But it is just nice to inform Ghanaians that this is where we are and this is what we are doing. Going forward, things will be fine. It is good to inform Ghanaians, and that is why we are informing Ghanaians. We are not complaining. We are fixing the issues. No matter the troubles they left for the Ghanaian people in the energy sector, we are not running away from it. We are fixing it, and it will be fixed. And that is why today we're sitting here having quality, power, electricity. We are not using generator here. So please, we know our history. They should tell us the truth. We know our history.
Before we move on.
Yeah, but this is the second round. So this is my second round. Okay, the point is that, you see, if I say something that the name of the game is evidence, right?
Yes.
So what is your evidence that 7 months we've had this problem? It is not true.
It's not true.
We are Ghanaians, we go through, in fact, even with the current situation, some of the areas in Ghana don't experience it. So you can't just make a sweeping statement without providing any evidence. In any case, we're not in this country when the whole Otumfuo complain to another that because of the outages, his gadgets were being destroyed. And so we've had this situation, and let me tell you the reason why MPP bought transformers but did not, replace them.
Tell us.
It's because at that time we were already having load shedding. So the fear was that if you start with a replacement, the problem was going to be going to be worse.
Okay.
So they stopped doing that, or they didn't even try it at all because they knew the problem and were getting to election time. So they needed to manage the load shedding we were going through. So indeed, we had problems under the MPP energy sector. I mean, my point is that moving forward as a nation,
because it's crucial. I'm seeing that Samir Awuko is calling, for it to be fixed because of the BEC and the WASI statements.
Yes, it is.
Aside from industrialization,
yeah. Of course, we need energy for. You see, the point is that our politicians have disappointed us over the years. So sometimes it's disheartening to hear MPP the way they speak, and sometimes some of the NDC the way they speak. This country has been governed by two political parties in the last 32 or 33 years. So whatever problem we have can be only attributed to these two political parties. I'm saying that if MPP tells you today that they did better with the energy money, it is not true. If you look at the debt that they left behind, the way they mismanaged ECG and other places, I mean, your records are not good. For Christ's sake, let's say the truth. Except that, you see, it's like now we are looking at a situation where
the truth should start with you.
The problem we're having in this country is that once you go out of opposition, you should always be on your knees.
Become a saint.
Yeah, praying that things get worse for the ruling government so that I can come back to power. That should not be the way forward. We, the United Party, if you listen to the way we communicate, at any point in time, we try to proffer solutions as to how we can move this country forward. That should be the way out.
Okay.
But you can't come and sit here and make sweeping statements that the 8 years that you were in government, things were rosy or within the energy sector. Things were very bad.
He did also mention that
Things
even
were
though
very bad
it was
at
bad,
point.
they were fixing it. And
Fixing
it
it
should
how?
be fixed.
By
Even at the point, even Napa himself admitted they were having doom so. That is why somebody asked for timetable, and he told the president, "Go and those who want the timetable should bring their own timetable." I mean, we've had all these situations.
Don't know about all that.
So my brother. So let's stick to the truth.
So the UP
good of
has
Ghanaians.
been described as one of the first opposition party that is always focused on other opposition parties. Okay, and my brother here is staying true to form. He spends more time going after MPP than he's.
Mr. Bachman talked about
Because you destroy things.
Can I finish?
You destroy things. So that's what to be
Can I
said.
finish?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our UP folks here talked about how MPP NDC has been in charge of Ghana for a long time. But here we are. If that's the case, NDC from their PNDC days have ruled Ghana twice as much as MPP. So that, I mean, if we're going by that measure, then who is more responsible for the problems we have in this country? The Ameri power plant was moved to Kumasi to save about 30 megawatts that were being lost. Okay? From
Criticize us bringing the America.
Can I just finish?
Then you sell it to your struggle.
Please allow
to manage
Sefa,
your troubles
go
and your
ahead,
struggles.
Honorable Fondi.
You need to
Allow
acknowledge
him
His Excellency Mahama.
expatiate on his point.
And that's what I'm saying.
Sefa,
Can
go
I
ahead.
finish?
Yes.
All right. So it was moved, and we're saving about 30 megawatts of the 250 megawatts that were being lost because of location issues. Okay, Ashanti region was having major issues. It's still generally having major issues because of the concentration of power generation in the south. So if you feel where you get your most votes, which is Ashanti region, okay? If you feel that they don't deserve, you tell Ashanti region people that we don't need to try to solve the structural problems that they were having, which is still not fully resolved. And by moving the Ameri, we have actually reduced the problem. That's up to you. Okay, you can continue to say that. That's the main reason why Mary was moved.
Okay.
We inherited $2.5 billion in debt in the sector. And that was projected at that time because of some of the deals that they signed, very egregious power agreements that were signed at the time. World Bank even warned Ghana that we risked our entire economy and our economic development if we didn't address it. We're projected to lose about 12.5 billion, face $12.5 billion in deficit in the sector. By the time we handed over, we handed over just about $2.5 billion that they left us. How is this this kind of mismanagement? And for 8 years, the doom saw, which actually almost destroyed our economy during President Mahama's first term. We managed it for 8 years to the point where they were even promising 24-hour economy by the time they will come back. And then finally, we were said to have added no power to the grid. We added over 400 megawatts of power. And you can see some power added 340 megawatts under Nanado. You can also see that renewable energy, about 114 megawatts were added. And the so-called Bridge Power Project added 200 megawatts of power and is scalable up to over 500 megawatts if need be. Please, don't spend all our money holding dollars and other things. It's important that you manage our economy well, to pay the teachers, to pay the nurses, to make sure that we have enough power generation. You are mismanaging things and not keeping the lights on, and then you want to find excuses. Every time you come in, you're the only one who somebody left problems for, and in the power sector and paying teachers and so on. If you are mismanaged, you don't know how to manage to pay the bills, to make sure that the lights are on and all those things. Please go and see Nanado.
Okay, you recommend that they go and see the former president for solutions on how to fix the situation. Sefa, is there any other recommendations that you feel would help? Is there any other recommendations you feel will help, reduce this problem?
Well, he thinks that we're not serious, right? And it's funny that NDC thinks NPP is not serious. The party that managed our greatest crisis ever globally. Two of them back to back. Ghanaians can see now how you are having difficulty managing our economy at a time when almost all the key structural reforms that needed to be done, whether it's the debt exchange, whether it was also making sure that we had our gold reserves built up and all those things were in place before you came in. And you came in at a time where our cocoa prices had reached unprecedented levels. Even today, as we sit here, do you know that the cocoa price of about $3,200 a ton is still higher than what we had for 7 years? About 7 years of Nana Addo's 8 years, first 7 years, the cocoa price was averaging around $2,000 a ton.
How?
If these are facts, you can check them.
Okay.
And it was only in the last year when cocoa prices shot up. Even to this day, at 3,200, you see that it's higher than the average we had for the first 7 years of about $2,000 a ton. Gold prices have doubled. Gold have doubled since Nanado left office. You have had a windfall in 2025. We got about $16 billion of inflows from gold alone. About half of all our exports and inflows. Unprecedented money. And you cannot manage to pay the cocoa farmers. You cannot manage to keep our lights on. You cannot manage. Where are you spending the money? And my brother here was talking about a pit where he said we spent
$97 million.
Please. Can I finish?
Please allow Sefa go ahead.
You said your point.
Yes,
I kept quiet.
I just gave you the figure.
But you don't have anything to say about $1.2 billion that we are losing from a gold sale. 1.2 billion what? Dollars.
How? Where did you get
We sold 18 tons of our gold.
Right.
For $3,500. You are shocked because we are going to make sure that we get to the bottom of this. You're shocked?
Okay.
Where did you get?
You are not shocked yet. The day we find out where and to whom you sold that gold, that is the day that you are going to run out of the country.
Okay.
Because we will get to the bottom of it.
All right.
$1.2 billion.
Let's now move to
He said a lot of things.
Issues that
he said a lot about the economy that needs to be responded to.
You can't tell us
the
where
Ghana
that money
Armed Forces.
And
I
we're
have
talking
two
about
other
$90
issues that I
million.
need to move on to. Honorable, my producers insist that I go to the military. Yes, the military. If we have time, just before we wrap up, we will. Ghana Armed Forces, their escort convoy that was attacked, 140 civilians were being carried as of Monday, 27th April 2026. That morning at Binduri by unknown elements. The convoy from Boko heading into town was attacked and 3 people died, 3 civilians, and they injured 1. In the process, the military successfully repulsed the attack on the convoy, resulting in the death of 7 of the assailants. And in Percy, the military discovered and retrieved an escapee who went into a mosque. A G3 automatic rifle, 2 filled magazines of 20 rounds each, and 176 rounds of additional munition. 10 other suspects were arrested and are assisting with investigations. The armed forces wishes to caution all to desist from engaging the military or any other security service during its operations. Mr. Bachman, let me begin with you on this. Quite worrying, the Ghana Armed Forces escort convoy that was attacked.
Yes, it's quite worrying. But you see, Matiti, let me say this. You see, this impression that is being created as though we, the UP people, we always attack MPP, opposition MPP. I think that argument is flawed because MPP is also a competitor. So if you had a situation where you mismanage an economy to the point that your own economies, flag bearer economies, had to run away from the economy to digitalization, if you had to get to a point where you looted this country to the point that your own former finance minister had to run away, run out of this country, and he says it's not going to come back to Ghana, shouldn't you say it? It's because you're in opposition, you should keep quiet over all the things you did. That is not how you govern a country. You look at what you did and look at what the government is doing. And that is why sometimes you go back to the issue of your mismanagement, the corruption and wasteful expenditure. That is what grounded this country. So let's say it as they are. Now, on the issue that you brought, I think the security issues up north is becoming
especially in the Upper East.
Yes, and what really shocks me, and particularly in this case, is that even when the people were moving with military officers, they got attacked.
Yeah, and it's usual of the military to escort civilians around those areas. But we haven't heard of the attacks. But this is
because can you imagine if they were not being accompanied by the military? What would have happened?
All of them.
Yeah.
And another thing that shocks me is the fact that the people were. I said they chased one of them to a mosque. That's where they found those things, right? So it means so they strategically they thought mosque is a place that you will not. So that's where they were operating from, and that's quite dangerous. I think we need to intensify the security up north. We need to invest there more in terms of making sure that the security presence is very strong. Because, I mean, look at...
I say it's in the Upper East region. Before we scare people that they enter up north.
Sorry. Upper East region. Upper East region. Let's be specific. So that you don't scare people. But I think it's quite serious. We need to do more to prevent some of these things. And those who have been arrested...
People are asking that how did they pick intelligence that the military was moving at that time, because I think they sparingly do it.
Yes. And it's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. So, I mean, this one, once the security matters, the experts would have to sit down and see how best they can, prevent some of these things from occurring again.
Yeah, I think my condolence to those who lost their life, the civilians, but certainly not the assailants. I think that these are some of the very serious issues that disrupt progress in every country. But I think the earlier we address it, the better. I don't know exactly why that one conflict cannot be resolved.
People are saying your government has resolved it. The President Mahama says that Boko conflict is resolved.
And it should linger on till now. Yes, the conflict was resolved. It must be resolved. It must be seen to be resolved. And that's what it is. What at all is the matter that cannot be resolved? Why should we continue killing ourselves? Why should we continue holding guns and wielding guns and shooting ourselves? Will shooting ourselves ever bring any solution? Which matter is resolved at the point of war? It's always going to bring destruction, killing, damaging properties, and retrogressions of that area's development. Why can't we just sit down and realize that some other part of this country is actually developing, and that our people are living in poverty, and that conflict shooting will not solve the problem, and that we must stop and think and develop, and that is what will bring relief to our people. There are many educated people coming from that area of our country, very intelligent people. They are in parliament when they speak, absolutely brilliant. They are in our industries, they are everywhere. They are lawyers, they are judges coming from that part of our world. Can't we now sit down and reason together and say enough is enough? Can't we give Ghanaians some relief and say enough is enough? Okay. How long should we continue to kill ourselves? How long? How long should we continue to do this? To extend that, they are even using the mosques as a safe haven. They are using the mosques to keep their weapons. Where are the weapons coming from?
Right.
Who gave them those weapons?
Exactly the question.
There are borders that
very big question.
are around our country. Where did those guns come from? We do not manufacture those guns in our country. Who brings those guns? Where did it come from? How did it get into the hands of these assailants? Why are we doing this to this small country called Ghana? Our beloved Ghana, why are we doing this? When will somebody sit down and reason with reasoning? When will somebody sit down and realize that under no circumstances will we continue to kill ourselves and resolve a problem? When will somebody realize that Islam is peace, Christianity is peace? When will somebody realize and see that our good Lord never gave us war but gave us peace, and that we should chart the path of peace and have? When will somebody in the north, that part of the north, sit down and reason and say enough is enough? Our children are becoming so desperate, and that they do not have future, and that we should sit down and think and reason.
Right.
Where are the lawyers from that part of our world? And where are the teachers? Where are the politicians? Where are the most intelligent people from there?
Okay.
How long are we going to do this to ourselves?
Thank you.
There is no part of this country that there are no issues. But we use our mouth to talk. Why would you want to use gun to talk?
Okay.
How long will you want to continue to destroy the future of your own generations? Why would you want to continue to do this?
Okay.
Somebody should rise and reason, because that is why we are here. Somebody should rise and reason. It is enough. I beg you. Look, I'm on my knees in the name of God.
Hey,
please, I beg you. It is enough.
It is enough.
It is enough.
It is enough, truly. And I'm sure the very passionate appeal that the people of the Upper East, I mean the Boko Enclave, where the feuding factions are listening, discerning minds, stakeholders, chiefs, elders, community leaders are listening to this very passionate appeal by the
I have business in Burkina Faso. I'm not able to travel to Burkina Faso with peace of mind. I'm always afraid. So my businesses are all gone.
Okay.
Why can we why?
Okay. Thank you, Honorable. Thank you so much for that. Sefa? Another passionate appeal from you?
Yes, so
no,
I will. I think Honorable has done that very well for all of us. So I also express condolences to those that have lost lives and been maimed or otherwise injured, right? Having said that, the fact remains that if you look at how Nana Addo solved the issue of that bomb, for example, it was genius. He came in, he made sure that at least those who were historically aligned with the MPP, he talked to them and got them in many ways to compromise so that the Andani will retain the Yana skin. Again, that's how we worked out peace. What did we see from the NDC during the election? The president himself went there, inciting them, in many ways telling them that there is no conflict.
You see why this?
Can I finish? Can I finish?
No, please let.
I'm going to speak the way I want to speak.
Go ahead.
Okay, we don't have to toe any line of yours, with all due respect.
Go ahead, Sefa. You have your
They politicize this matter, and I'm not going to rest because I remember it very well. These were some of the things, including LGBTQ. They incited people on this to win elections.
Okay.
The flag bearer of the NDC went there, told them there's literally no conflict. When NDC is in power, Boko, there's peace in NDC, in Boko and Kusak. That's what you told them. So MPP was the problem. They even went as far as trying to insinuate that Dr. Bawumia was somehow behind the problem. Today, the Boko doesn't have peace, NDC is in power.
So the
again.
conflict is not devoid of political influence, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying exactly what I'm saying, which is they incited people. They were egregious in their opposition. Okay? And so now you want everybody to just stand down and yes, we all want peace. We want peace. Why didn't we want peace? We're working on peace. What is the escalation in many ways is even worse now than before. Why did you go and tell them that when NDC is in power, there is peace? The flag bearer of the NDC even went as far at that time, even saying that armed robbery and all that, when NDC returns to power, those things go down. That was wrong. And today, you want everybody to speak the way you want us to speak? No, we will remind you that you were part of the incitement. You need to settle this issue. Okay? Because we know the Mamprasi people, all right, have a historical claim to Boko. We know that. Even the name Boko is a Mamprasi word, I'm told. Okay? And when you go in, just like we did with that bomb, you need compromises. You haven't done those things. You haven't done those things. I won't get into too much detail because I've been very well briefed. I have so many friends in the north.
Okay.
I'm very well briefed about this matter. You need compromises such as Nana Addo, the wise Nana Addo, who got peace back to Gabon. If you're not doing that, you're not just going to bamboozle anyone. So there's a need for settlement. There's a need for a creative way of trying to resolve this issue. Until you do that, all this talk that you did during your opposition days, where has it gotten us to?
Okay, Sefa, let's wrap up with Adamus Resources Limited's mining leases, government revoking it for illegal activities. I'll give you a minute each, gentlemen. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, which I believe you followed extensively, announcing the revocation of the Akango, Salman and Nkofo mine leases of Adamus Resources Limited due to violations of Ghana's minerals and mining laws. According to that press statement issued on Sunday, 26 April, said the decision follows a series of investigations conducted by MINCOM, which uncovered multiple instances of illegal and unauthorized mining activities carried out by the company. It gives a 6 or so pointer, I believe, reasons in the presser. The statement says it was found to have unlawfully subcontracted mining operations on their concessions without obtaining necessary ministerial consent, illegal mining without permits, failure to obtain regulatory approvals, engagement of foreign nationals in illegal mining, substandard mining operations, environmental degradation. Honorable Vondi, your minute on this.
I mean, You see, some political activists believe that their enemies should automatically be their friends' enemies as well. And that is wrong. For example, that you are my friend does not mean that your enemy must automatically be my enemy. That is wrong. Please.
Are we talking of Adamus, the mining?
Let there be peace in Boku.
Honorable, I gave you a minute. Please. I gave you a minute on the mining, the revocation.
I think that the revocation
we
of
have to go.
Adamus mining lease are legal issues. When you were giving the mining lease, you were giving the way you should run the mine, and then you decided to do otherwise, and the institution believed that you did not do well. It is just normal. I mean, the law is not a respecter of human being.
Okay.
And so if you engage in Galamsey, bringing Chinese people to come in, and don't forget that is where the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources come from. That is his constituency. He cannot look on to see things get wrong, and so he decided to take the lands away from you. That's fine. Why can't we all, go and mine our own gold as Ghanaians? And so if you bring people to come and destroy our land, why should we let you do it?
Okay.
For me, that's fine. I mean, I don't want even to think about that at all.
The fear right now is there's a grand agenda to annex our mineral resources.
You see this?
Honorable Von D.
All right.
Go ahead.
And we all saw how the NDC acted when someone wanted to get a hotel deal done in this country, in part because he wasn't NDC and he wasn't from a certain part of the country. Okay. So they are busy doing all we know it's not just the Daman mine. We know they have a grand scheme to annex all these things, but times change and power changes. Okay. So they should continue. They should take other people's mines from them. Okay. And when we come in, we will also have our own review.
You've seen the 5 points. Mr. Bachman, let me just wrap up with you.
MPPs, they don't seem to have a problem when a foreigner, a South African, was managing Daman. No. But now that a Ghanaian is managing, seems to have a problem.
I think Brian is from Uganda. So Brian Champon is from Uganda.
I think Adamus issue is very simple. You are giving a lease on condition. You do A, B, C, D.
Okay.
To have it. If you don't do it, you lose it. You didn't go buy what was given to you and you've lost it. That's a simple issue.
Okay, that's your point. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your perspectives this morning. Ghanaians have definitely heard from the three sides of the political divide. For the NDC, representing is the Honorable David T.D. Von D., MP Trifoti Mokwa. Ebe Bachman represented the UP as the Deputy Communications Director, and Prince Sefa is the former CEO of GEFEC. He spoke for the NPP. I am Altiti Saida Sadiq. I spoke for Ghanaians and GBC. And we're back with more. The Bad Days is up next and lots more.